Liverpool 4, Tottenham 0. Well, it was never in doubt, was it? 1-0 deficit. It was nothing. We knew it'd be easy, light work. Totally wasn't stressed at all. But listen, we've got the job done. We are now into our third Carabao Cup final in just 4 years' time, having won the last two that we were in, both against Chelsea, both on penalties. Hopefully, we can get it done a bit sooner this time around if we are fortunate enough to turn up on the day and win it. But yeah, first trophy of the season is up for grabs, well and truly. So let's go grab it. Just before we get into the positives, there was a brief check by VAR for a potential elbow from Van Dijk on Richarlison quite early into the game. It was clear there was obviously nothing too wrong with it, but I would say that while Van Dijk is very good at kind of ruffling a few feathers, getting in and roughing up his opponent, there have been a few incidents like these now, I feel, in recent games that I can remember where a bit of a flailing elbow and, opponents complaining against him. I think it's just something he's got to dial back on a little bit, be careful to not lead to himself getting sent off, because he has been an absolute rock at the centre of our defence and we do not need him getting suspended over something that really he probably doesn't need to get a whole arm in there. Just shrug him off. He's big enough to do it with the shoulder. Just got to watch for those. Getting into the rest of our performance, it was absolutely impeccable from us. We were so relentless, and we needed to be. We were coming into this having lost the first leg 1-0, knowing Tottenham, we have just shown the ability to kind of sit deep and actually get through a game in a different way like they did against Brentford, something we haven't really seen from them for most of the season. And we knew that it would probably be tough to break them down, but we really, the crowd were up for it and the team responded all over Tottenham, and that real energy and that real press forced a lot of mistakes out of them. In that first half in particular, there's so many turnovers in possession, and it's what eventually led to us getting the opening goal. We stepped it up again second half, went and got the 3 goals to just cement an absolute demolition job. And in the end, the woodwork denied us 3 times as well, so it could have been even more. A really impressive performance, but the best thing was just that energy being there from the first minute to the last. We've had a few games this season where we take a while to get going. This was not one of those. This was one of those top performances all the way through, where you can't really fault anything about it. Of course, there was another goal for Cody Gakpo today. He was absolutely loving life in this tournament for us this season. That's 5 goals and an assist for him in the 4 appearances he's made in this tournament for us. And even more importantly than that, it is that just ability he's been showing many times across the season to score those clutch goals for us. He gets the opener today to calm the nerves of the fact that we're obviously trying to overturn that deficit. He levels the aggregate and he just sets us that platform to go on and take the game. First goal obviously comes about from a brilliant assist from Mohamed Salah. Now, there was also a key role from Darwin Núñez in that, with backflip out of the way to leave the space for Gakpo, draw the defenders. Completely intentional, of course. He definitely was not trying to bicycle kick that one in or whatever it was, but brilliant assist from Salah. Obviously then goes on to score the penalty, and an emphatic penalty, by the way, rifling into the top corner. Often with penalties, there's only so much you can do to impress, but that is one way to go about it. And it just continues to rack up incredible numbers for him for goal contributions this season, as he remains a real front runner for the Ballon d'Or shouts this year. And listen, it's an individual award, but we all know that team trophies are going to play heavily into that as well. So hopefully he's now one step closer just to getting one trophy down and off the list, and hopefully many more. Finally, a big shout out to the defensive performance today as well. Absolutely resolute throughout the pitch. The heavy press work obviously playing a big part in that. But even the few times Spurs did creep through and get into our final third, the defenders were there on job, locking them off, limiting them to real low efforts of not real much there. I think Son hit the crossbar at one point, but that was probably about as close as Spurs were going to get all evening. So really good from them. And that makes it 3 clean sheets now in our last 6, which have impressively come in very tricky away ties against Bournemouth and Brentford in the league. And then this one against a Spurs side who came into this knowing they had the lead on aggregate, so we were going to have to take the game to them. And that may open us up and leave us vulnerable to their counterattacks, which has been one of their strengths this season. So we did so well. And this is the kind of defensive stability we've wanted to see back now. And we're seeing it now. 3 clean sheets in 6, I think 4 and 8. The consistency is coming back to our defence.